Hello everyone, welcome back to a new How Do I Beat This. Today we're going to be Hello everyone, welcome back to a new How Do I Beat This. Today we're going to be having a look at a replay from Tarkun, who sent me, "What's up Harstem, I'm struggling with tech switches," or something along those lines. And yeah, he's struggling with Zerg tech switches. A lot of people struggle with this, especially at lower levels where Zergs manage to float a lot of minerals. TOS also floats a lot of minerals. So, and then all of a sudden Zerg can just tech switch into 20 lurkers, 20 brute lords, 500 roaches, 12 swarm host, something like that, you know? Is that kind of stuff. I get it a lot. Now, we're playing core first. Oh, what the hell happened here? So, initial gateway must have been a little bit too late or something like that. Yes. First gateway way too late. Try to really sync that up properly, Tarkun. The start is always very important in this kind of stuff. Try to just get down the timing, when to send probes down. Just look at it in a replay, look at a professional player, like what timing do they send their probes down? And try to copy that, eh? It's pretty important. As all of a sudden your gateway is just delayed by 10-15 seconds for no real reason. And because of that your core is also delayed by a lot. 22 supply, that should be going down at 20 supply. They're gonna get this weird supply block, which wasn't necessary at all. Spylon. Gas, yeah, you messed up your build order a little bit, but that's okay. So you're playing against a pool first, your response is core first. Now what I like to do these days is to wall with my second pylon. So I put my second pylon over here. Then I chrono boost my first adept, not a zealot. And then I just wall this, yeah, exactly with a pylon. And then you can already build Stargate over here if you want, because you have the money. Now, with the gateway wall, the problem is it's a little more expensive. And you need to cancel it eventually, or you're gonna end up with a really bad opener. Of course, you never want to get a second gateway before attack. Looks like you're going into 4 gateways before attack, which is definitely something you don't want. In PvZ in general, if you want to play optimal, there's really 2 main openers. There's 3 main openers. You got your DT drop, you got your Glaive Adept build, you got your Oracle opener. 4 gate, 2 sentry is not an opener. The reason why Tarkun opens with 2 sentries is because he's afraid. Why is he afraid? It's because he has no information. He doesn't know if there's a third base. How could he have gotten that information? Either with a probe, sending it out, or with the first adept, and then keeping the second adept at home. But this is not a build order. 4 gate into Stargate is extremely bad. You really should not be playing that, as it's not useful at all. Your tech is way too late. The 4 gateways are not useful. Your third base is going to be delayed. And your eco is just going to get a lot worse because of it. This game is going to go very, very poor for you. At least in the early game. If Zerg just holds down the drone button at this point, I don't see a way for you to get out of this ahead, basically. Like you're scouting with hallucinations. You're absolutely not in control here. And TOS should kind of be in control of at least the first 4 or 5 minutes. You know, you're the one that decides the pace. But in this case, he's the one that decided the pace. So we see Zerg continues droning up. You're finally getting a third base at 5 minutes. It is pretty late. 2 extra gateways before that base even. No robo, no extra tech whatsoever. So your army's gonna suck. Your eco's gonna suck. Your tech is gonna suck. So this game is really, really bad for you right now. Just economy-wise, he's gonna have 80 drones. 80, 85 drones or something. 8 gases. Before you're even gonna be taking your own gases, or maybe you'll take your gas at the same time as he takes gas 7 and 8. It's gonna be so bad for you. Because you just give him so much time. This is not an army that's scary. There's not even a robo, so you can't reinforce it if you were to push across the map. So there's no threat coming out of you whatsoever. Zerg realizes that, has this tower, so in case you would move out, you could build some units, but you don't. You're just gonna sit at home, hold down the drone key. I like the charge, I like the +1, I think that's good things. I think the Immortal is a good idea as well. Extra workers, double gases. Now, we see the 4th base, so my prediction actually gonna come through. Double gas being taken before you're taking your gases, so that's 8 gas against 4. If you divide 8 by 4, that's 2, so it means he has double the amount of gas you're gonna be getting for a little bit. 80 is workers, infestation pit, double evo. You're in an absolutely awful position. At this point he can basically do anything to win this game. He could be going into Roach, he could be going into Infestor. Pretty sure he could play Muta from this. As long as he doesn't die, he's gonna be in an absolutely fantastic spot. Now, you're getting an army which looks nice, but this army is definitely lacking something, and your resources make it obvious what you're lacking. It's Archons, or at least the Templar Archives. The reason why Charge Slot Archon works so well is because Zealots only cost minerals and Archons practically only cost gas. Sure, one Templar costs 25 minerals. I am aware of that, but it's mainly a gas-intensive unit. So it complements each other really well. This kind of push could have 3 Archons with it. Completely viable. All of a sudden you're looking at an army that might actually be somewhat scary. Does very well against Lynx, does well against Hydras. Maybe not the greatest against Roaches, but it's better to have 3 Archons than to build 6 more sentries, right? 9 sentries. Need to add some minerals then, but yeah, Blink is really not the way forward here. Should be Templar Archives, yes. Storm, yes. Immortals, yes. Prisms, yes. Templars, Archons, yes. Stalkers? No. You have a Stargate already. If you're afraid of Muta, get a single Phoenix, get one cannon per base. You're gonna be absolutely fine, my friend. Don't you worry about it. So before you attack, what you can do here is you can send in a hallucination. Make sure that there's not too much stuff there. Big Zealot attack. Now what are we missing? There's no Prism with this army. No run by. No Observer to clear creep if there was creep. Luckily there isn't, but what if you had 6 tumors here? 6 tumors here. You're gonna walk on creep? Nah, don't think so. Need an Observer and a Prism with every single push, my friend. Blink, once again, is an absolute no-no. And do run-bys. Run-by, 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 run-by. What do you think is more effective here? If you have 23 Zealots here, or 20 Zealots here, and 3 in this base. I'm gonna let you think for a bit. Indeed. 20 Zealots here, 3 in this base. Way more difficult to deal with for the Zerg player. Especially at the lower levels, run-bys are extremely powerful. Even at the higher levels, they're extremely powerful. Now, the way you want to be fighting this, if you want to be using your force fields, your range advantage with the Immortals, and your catch with the force fields in combination with the Zealots. Instead of that, you're just right-clicking the hatchery, which I don't think is the optimal play. You might get it. You're probably going to be slightly behind in resources lost, and this really did need to do a little more damage. So, yeah, slightly behind in resources lost. This is not that big of a deal. Zerg just traded better than one-on-one with a Roach army, which is probably the least cost-efficient unit in the game usually, and right now you made it very cost-efficient. Your supply is down. If he attacks you from this angle at this point, you're just straight up gonna die. If he walks up here, you have a chance because you have some force fields. There's just so many Roaches that you don't quite have the DPS to deal with this, even with your 3 Immortals with +1. So yeah, the only reason you're staying alive in this game is A, because he's floating 1200, and B, because he's walking up this ramp. Now, like I said before, Stalkers are not the way here. Should be Storm, should be Archons, should be a Prism on the map. There should be just any kind of run by happening right now to try and win some time. The best time to do harassment is when you're under attack, because then you might force him to go back, or you put him in an all-in position. There's almost never that a game gets decided on 2 extra Zealots at home. But it's way more often that a game gets decided 2 Zealots over here, killing 8-9 workers. That's what wins games. So right now, Toss has had some pretty bad fights. He's had very poor eco for a very long time. He has little info as well what's happening. He's aware of the Lurker and he's aware of the Double Spire. Does have this. That's good. I actually like that he has this tower. But right now, if you have this vision, there should be 3 Zealots waiting here. There should be a Prism here with 4 Zealots. And then the moment you see anything come in tower vision, so here, you go like, okay, I can send in my 3 Zealots now. I can send 2 over here, 1 over here. I can send in my Prism. And then all of a sudden, Zerg needs to decide. He's like, hey, am I going to attack into this? Because if he does, he's going to be all in. He can't build more units at home before he loses units, which means Queens are going to be the only thing defending. If he goes back, then you just want time. You're getting closer to your own max supply. These units are becoming less relevant the longer the game goes on. And the max you're gonna lose is what? 3 Zealots from here, maybe 4 Zealots here. If you really forget to do everything, might even lose the Prism. That's a good deal, my friend. That's a very good deal. Gives you some time to research Storm. Might give you some time to research Storm indeed. Now, another thing is that we like to always get attack upgrades before armor upgrades in PvZ. So +2 attack is definitely the way forward, not 1-1. Try to leave an observer in your opponent's base where the main tech is. So I would put it over here if I were you. Just put it in observation mode or whatever it's called. Then you can see whenever Hive starts, whenever layer is done, or whenever Hive Hive is done. Maybe you'll see some tech if you're lucky. You can see what comes out of the X from the main base. Always very helpful. This run by is a good attempt, but not very successful. I like this run by setup as well. This takes very little APM because you can just queue them up in A moves like you're doing right now. That is absolutely fantastic. And you see already that the moment you do that, you could have taken so much map control. You could have been clearing this creep, taking this tower. You could have taken this tower. You can already set up your next run by over here. Just by sending in 2 run bys, you create so much space for yourself and a lot of time as well. Imagine if these guys would have actually gone into the main. Or actually over here, they might have been able to do some damage. His entire army is moving to this area. Yeah, might even catch these broodlords. I think you might actually catch these broodlords. Yeah, okay, barely might not if you go down this ramp. Well, very lucky, of course. Like, this is not really the counter to broodlords. The counter to broodlords, once you see Hive and Greater Spire, what you really want to be doing is getting either carry or attack. Simple as it is, really. Now we see Tarkoon still has a decent map vision here. With the run bys, it's doing quite some damage. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, once again, same thing as before with the fight over here. What do you think is going to be better? 16 zealots in this main base or 12 zealots in this main base and 4 over here? It's going to be 12 in the main, 4 over here. Just pick 4 up in your prism, drop them over here and send them in. You know, that's the kind of move that will help a lot. Really spread your opponent thin. And you might be able to just get 12, 13 workers for free, just like that. Well, you're already getting so many workers. That would pretty much end the game if you get 10 more workers. You're up 12 workers all of a sudden. You win the fight on the other side of the map. Now, you struggle once again with seeing what your opponent is doing. Well, you saw Hydras now through your aggression. You saw the unit composition, you saw Hydras. What you need is Storm. You need charge slots, you need Storm, my friend. It's really... Storm is so important in PvZ. It helps against Lynx, it helps against Roach, helps against Banelings, helps against Lurkers, Hydras. Anything. Storm beats everything. It's the ultimate spell. If you don't get it, there's something wrong with you. You need to get it. Absolutely. And here Storm would be very nice. On top of that, Stalkers are kind of useless. So you could try to figure out ways to get rid of them. Whether that be through harass, clearing some creep, attacking this area and then Stalkers over here, or attacking this area and Stalkers over here, you know. Just find a good way to get rid of them so you can replace them with units that you want in your army. Which is Charge Lot, Archon, Immortal Storm. Big Immortal count is good. You have 9, 10 Immortals, 9 Immortals, 10 Archons, way too many. Against Lurkers, Lurker Hydra, you don't actually need Archons. You need Archons against Lynx and Banelings. Swarm Host perhaps. Mutalisk, that's nice. But against Hydras? Lurker? No. You want to get many charge slots because there's no Banelings to blow up your charge slots. You want to get Storms. You want to get Immortals, the big damage dealers against these armored Lurkers. Then you just set up your engagement. You don't need to attack into this, but you can. Oh, you set up your engagement. Now this goes very well. Then he burrows. You start splitting. You start splitting. You start splitting. You see, these Archons completely useless in the back. Immortals aren't capable of shooting because of Stalkers. Never kite into Lurkers, because it just makes your army clump up more and makes the fight worse for you. That's exactly what we see. Now you lose a basically unlosable game. So the thing that beat you wasn't even the tech switches. You dealt with the tech switches relatively well. Lacking Storm, no real air against the Broodlords. You only got them because you're a bit lucky, but the real problem is with the micro in the end. You're lacking unit composition. Like, you could have, after he burrowed, and he, you know, he sits over here. So imagine if we look at this situation again. Over here. Imagine you kill these initial lurkers. Now he burrows. What happens if you just move back with your main army and send your 20 Stalkers or so? What do you have? 25 Stalkers over here. Just fight a bit over here. He'll need to split his army. If all of his Hydras go here, you can just A-move on top of his Lurkers. If all of his Lurkers go here, you can just A-move on top of his Hydras. You're way more flexible with your army positioning because he needs to siege, he needs to be in position. And you can see, hey, is he in position? Is he not? If he's in position, you can go to another entrance. It's called rotating. Salad run by over here would be helpful. Prism here could be helpful. Prism here. So you try to find weak spots in your opponent's defense and try to abuse them. A-moving isn't always the way. Alright. I hope that was useful. If it was, don't forget to smack the like button. subscribe to my YouTube channel. The game ends after this, I believe. I mean, it's 140 supply against 74, so not that interesting. Also have a second channel where I cast a game every single day. Don't forget to subscribe to that. And I'll see you all tomorrow for a new video. Bye bye.